right, you guys. Hey, welcome aboard again. Boop, boop. Hey, so look it. This is step 4. Made a fearless and searching moral inventory of ourselves, our lives. And this is it's a crazy step because we need to take the stock in trade, what we're working with, what we're dealing with. Like, what the hell is wrong with us? We got to find out. And this is part of the journey. Self-discovery, self-awareness. So this is the deal. One of the key words is moral inventory. So morals, we all have a moral compass, a little compass, and it's our morals, okay? And one way to find out your moral compass is to find out a couple things. Raise your hand if you like to be lied to. No, you don't like it when people are like full of crap? You don't like that? Me neither. Raise your hand if you like it when people flake on you. Like, just tell you they're gonna be there, tell you they're gonna do something, and no call, no show. You don't like that, right? Do you like it when people steal from you? Do you like to go back to your place and someone stole your shoes, someone stole your car, someone stole your bike? You don't like that either. So we don't like to be flaked on, we don't like to be lied to, we don't like to be taken advantage of, we don't like to be disrespected, we don't like to be hurt. We don't. That's your moral compass. I want you to think about this. Think about your moms, your dads, your children, your employers, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, people that love you. You ever lie to them? You ever flake on them? You ever disappoint them? You ever steal from them? Yes, we have. We have failed over and over again. Drugs, alcohol, all this stuff. So what that says is deep down inside of our core, we become the same people that we don't like. I don't like it when people freaking hurt me or do all this stuff, and now I'm doing that to the world, so now I'm one of these people. But one of the greatest character defects is pride. Pride says, I will rationalize, I will come up with reasons, I will come up with excuses. That employer, I stopped working for him because he called me a name. My brother, did drugs at his house, stole, lied, cheated, all this stuff. And then I will hold on to this one prideful moment that he left me one night out in the rain. He left me and he went and picked me up. I'll hold on to that moment, and that one moment that he did me wrong, I will justify all the horrible stuff that I've done in his entire life. We have to take stock of what's wrong, what's going on with us, okay? So the moral compass is how you want to be treated, and we need to treat other people the same way. Because if we treat people shitty, we're gonna get treated shitty. That's just a universal law. So now we got the moral compass. This is important on the 4th step, the moral compass. The next thing is inventory. When I came in this last time and resentments was the topic, my sponsor told me, hey Danny, this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down all the people that you resent. For me, I sat there and I thought about it. I don't resent anybody. I don't roll around all day thinking of people and from my past and hating on them, But the deal is that I was so calloused. I've done so many drugs and so much fear and so much just drugs and alcohol and all these weird feelings that it made me feel that without that stuff, I was very numb, very calloused, my energy was just not good. So I couldn't think of all the people that I resented, because I was like, I don't resent anybody. So I sat down with my sponsor and I talked to him, and we came up with this idea, this plan. Well, write down every time that you did care. Every time in the past that you were freaking out on people, places, and things. So I was like, okay. So I went back through my life and I wrote down every single person that hurt me, made me angry, made me mad, every embarrassing, weird, shameful, everything on this piece of paper. And I'm not saying, you know, you have to do it this way. This is just a suggestion. This is just my story. But I wound up writing 300 different things down. All the people that I fought, all the people that I hurt financially, emotionally, mentally, all the people that hurt me. Because whenever I'm mad in my past, whenever I'm angry, I feel like someone is screwing me over. That's negative energy. So I wrote down all these freaking things. You know, I wrote down tons, I just kept writing. And a lot of the people, I didn't even know their names. Guy with the blue hat and the skateboard at 7-Eleven, you know, made me mad. The cop that was on my tier in prison, you know, that took my stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I just anger, fear, resentment, jealousy, pain. So I wrote down all of these things on my list, and I had about 300, because I'm not saying you got to do it that way. I've seen people write down 5 giant resentments that they have, 5 or 10 embarrassing, gnarly things that they've been through, and sometimes that's enough. I'm just telling you what my story was like, because I wanted to do this thing right. I gave my sponsor my word I would do it to the best of my ability. And when that pen started flowing, it just started flowing. You know, all these ugly situations and circumstances and, you know, stuff that happened to me as a kid and the violence, and then I'm taking it out on the world, and, you know, and I'm thinking that pride and anger and fear and all this stuff was just motivating me, and I had to get loaded. I had to drink. I had to. You know, because without that stuff, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I had to do all these things so that I could feel decent. Because without it, I just was bored and frustrated. So look at, the deal is, it's not what we think about life, it's what we feel about life, feelings. We get loaded and we get drunk because we want to feel. We don't like the way we're feeling in that present moment, so we do this stuff so we can feel. You know, I did drugs and heroin and smoked speed and drank and took pills so that I could feel better. So it was my feelings that compelled me to drink and use. They've done this research about what's more powerful, the mind or the heart. And they've done this research and they found out that the heart center is actually 100 times more powerful than the mind. The way we feel and the way the heart beats and the energy inside pumps, and it's 100 times more powerful than the brain. The brain, as it turns out, is a rudder to be able to focus on things. But what's inside of us, our feelings, the energy of love, the energy of hate, the energy of shame, the energy of disappointment, the energy of frustration, the energy of joy. This is all going on inside of us. This is our feelings. So our natural state is when we were a child, when we were young, when we were effervescent and joyful. Do kids need any toys to have fun? No, kids have fun with their imagination. Kids go outside in the sun and have fun. And that's our natural state, is to be light and bright. So what happens is, if you guys could see this, here is our heart as a child. Bright, and happy. And we feel great. Now we go through this place called life. We go through this timeline of life, and all these situations and circumstances where we've been hurt, we've been abused, we've been shamed, we've been embarrassed. All these circumstances and situations, my dad, my uncle, my mom, deny me, neglected, all these little situations, punched in the face, all these little situations and all these little circumstances of my life, all the hurt that I have felt and all the hurt that I have caused, each one of these situations I wind up holding on to. And going through each one of these situations is an arrow in my heart. Another situation. Got made fun of, another arrow. My dad was violent, another situation. The guy at school, another thing. I got embarrassed. I got all these things where all these people hurt me. A little arrow, a little arrow, a little arrow, another little arrow, another little arrow, another little arrow, another little arrow. And all these times I got angry over here, I got angry over here, I got angry at the cops, I got angry at my dad, I got angry because I wasn't getting my way, I got angry at my chick, I got angry at my relationship, I got angry. And each one of these situations is a little arrow that goes into the energy center where we feel. This is why we feel the way that we feel. We have pain and trauma and guilt and remorse and regret. We have these things inside of us that have now taken away the light. Taken away the light. So why do you think we feel bored or frustrated or irritated or not well when we get completely clean and sober? I used to think that if I just got clean and sober, I'm supposed to be amazing. I would get clean and sober. I've done 10 rehabs. I've done a bunch of detoxes. I went to thousands of meetings. And I always thought that if I just stay sober, I'm supposed to be amazing. I got 60 days. No, I got 60 days. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. I have a couple laughs. I had 6 months sober, I had 16 months sober before, just going to meetings. But guess what? All those arrows were still inside of my heart. That negative energy was still in there. And that's why life wasn't looking amazing. Right now in this moment, feel it. Just check your energy center. Something's not right. Right now is not amazing and joyful like when you were a kid. And that is just because we're holding on to our past. So now we're gonna write down all these situations and all these circumstances and all these people that hurt us and all the people that we resented. And we're gonna write them all down, all the things that we were embarrassed about, all the things that we thought we would never tell another human being in this entire place called life. And we write those all down on a piece of paper. And believe me, I'm with you. I'm with you. I was like, I cannot see how writing down all of this crap, reliving all that stuff, writing it all down is supposed to make me happy. I want to be happy. How is this going to make me happy? It doesn't make any sense. But it is fearless to go back through my life and find out how rotten I was, how many people I hurt, how many people hurt me. Over and over and over again. Because as I walk through life before, one of these situations will come up in my mind and I'll just I'm not gonna think about that. Yeah, that was screwed up. But when I went over each one of these things, over and over and over, I got punched here, I got my ass kicked here, I was taken advantage of here, people were screwing me over here, and then I started screwing people over here, and I started screwing people over here, and then I found out some stuff about me. After writing a thorough 4-step, and I'm not gonna go into all the columns and my part and I'm not gonna do that because different sponsors do this thing a little bit different, because the point is to do the house cleaning, to get out everything that's ever happened to us, every wrong we've ever encountered, and what we've held on to. That's the point of the 4-step. It's a moral inventory, seeing where our morals have been compromised, seeing where our morals have been compromised by people hurting us, and we start hurting others, and seeing where we're hurting, and then we're hurting the world. And that's what this is about. Because the process of these steps is to let that shit go. To get it all out and let that shit go. That's what this is all about. All we ever wanted was happiness. That's what we all want. What we really want is love. We all want to be loved. We all want to have a loving life where we love ourselves. We love the life that we have. We love this world that we live in. We all want that. We want happiness and joy and freedom. And as long as I have been in the habit of being negative through all my pain and then taking it out on the world, that's not the road to happiness. It's not. Judgment, opinions, pride, ego, self-pity, self-pity, self-pity. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? As long as I'm been in the habit of looking at the negatives, I can't find any freedom. So this process is going to look at our lives and see all these negatives that we ate and swallowed and held on to. And then the next steps, the 5th step, 6, 7, moving forward, we're going to learn the process of removing it. But we have to find out what the heck we're removing. And it's also about being fearless and honest. Honest! Because I'm gonna tell you guys right now that if you don't get honest and you don't freaking get out every wrong, uncomfortable, embarrassing, gnarly thing, if you don't do this thing thorough, it's the old analogy of baking a cake. You have the sugar, the flour, the butter, you have all this stuff inside of the baking soda, you have all this stuff inside of the cake, and the cake will rise. You leave out sugar, that's a horrible cake. Same thing with these 4-step. If you don't do it thoroughly, and you'll know you're doing it thoroughly when you've written everything out, and then you tell yourself, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't have anything else. I cannot think of anything else. Like, you might have 10 things down. You might have 300 things down. But at the end of it all, you have nothing else. You've held nothing back. That's when you're doing it right. Cool, you guys? Just being honest. That's what this step's about. Being fearless, being honest, taking a good look at ourselves, seeing how we have not been very cool, taking the stock in trade, seeing what we have to work with without denial, without excuses. Once we're able to do that, then we know what we're dealing with. And if we know what we're dealing with, then we can move forward. But until then, Our minds will always rationalize poor things that happened in the past, and we'll either justify or we'll play the victim or blame other people. But until we see the thorough picture, we can't really move forward. All right, that's all I got on the 4th step. I hope that makes sense. Again, I hope that helps a little. I don't want to get too crazy on it, but just a thorough, fearless, searching, moral inventory. All right, hey, you guys have a badass, great, wonderful day. And please get busy and start working and grow and thrive. Bam! See you soon. Step 5 is next.